We got an obligation.
Go ahead.
It should be our life's passion.
Amen.
It got to be our motto.
Amen.
No souls left behind. I didn't really understand that until, and I'm going to get to my message, amen. I didn't really understand that until there was a guy that, he was like a life enemy to me. We used to fight since elementary.
Amen.
All the way up through middle school. You know, it was one of them things where, you know, you just didn't like somebody so much that when you see them, you're just looking for an opportunity to steal off on them. If you don't know what that means sucker punch somebody when they ain't paying attention. Yeah, the pastor used to fight. Yeah. I ain't been preaching my whole life, amen. But I didn't understand it until I got saved. What no souls left behind me. Because once I got saved, and I was away at the particular time, I had got news that he had got shot and got killed. And it hurt me. It hurt me to tears. And when I was telling some of my partners, they were like, why that hurting you? That dude, he got killed. Ain't you happy? I said, no, I ain't happy. Because now I see the bigger picture. Amen. You see, his parents wasn't in his life. Amen. Like my parents was in my life. Hallelujah. He was raised by his older brothers, and they made him fight growing up. I don't know if you've been in situations like that, but they would make him fight. Even if he didn't want to fight, he had to fight. And so when his brothers grew up hustling, he didn't have no choice. It was like family business. Amen. He didn't have no choice but to hustle. It got to a point to where that's all he knew. And so I realized the bigger picture. All the time I had been fighting with him, not realizing that he was in a bad predicament. Amen. That when I got saved, I saw the bigger picture. And I realized he was put in a bad, they helped him to go to hell. Amen. Didn't have everybody got a chance to get saved and to hear the gospel, but some of us got better chances than others. Amen. Jumping on somebody, and the kid was afraid of him and just ended up shooting because he didn't want to fight no more. Amen. And it hurt me because I never got to share the gospel with him. I helped him. I never shared the gospel with him. Amen. Although I knew better. Amen. I didn't share it with him because I didn't like him. Amen. My Lord. Never took the time to talk to him. And so the bigger picture is, when I'm talking about passion,
come on now.
The bigger picture is you got to look at the people's story.
That's right. That's right.
Before you come to a judgment.
Amen.
Because you don't know what they had to go through. Amen. People didn't just end up on the street. You don't know how they got on the street. Amen. People didn't just end up on drugs. You don't know how they got on drugs. Amen. We got to look at the bigger picture. And the picture is they need Jesus Christ. Just like we needed Jesus Christ. The picture is that somebody might have helped them to get into their predicament. Or maybe some things happened in their life, amen, that helped them to get into a bad situation. And so that should give us more of a desire to go after them even more. To pursue them with the love of Christ. Because if we ain't pursuing them with the love of Christ, do we really get the love of Christ? God's love will make you love people. Amen. Even if you don't want to love. Because God's love will change your life to such an extent that you realize, you know, God been so good to me, I don't want nobody to live without God. Amen. I don't want nobody to live without God because I experienced life without God and I experienced life with God. I feel sorry for anybody that don't have Jesus Christ. And so I feel it's necessary for me to share the gospel. At every opportunity that I get, I feel it's necessary for me to be a witness. Amen. Let me get into this word fight. I keep it too long. Amen. That's why I got to be more than one part. Amen. I can't get this all in one part. Amen. But as we begin to pull from our text, I need you to look at the scripture, amen. Luke chapter 15 verse 4 says, what man of you, having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, doeth not leave the 99 in the wilderness, and go after that which is lost until he find it? My first point, the first thing I want to pull from this text is, you have to be willing to go after the lost.
Amen.
You got to be willing to go after the lost. Shouldn't nobody have to make you be a witness.
Amen.
Shouldn't nobody have to make you be a light. But we got to get to a place that I'm willing to do God's will and I'm willing to do God's work. Amen.
Amen.
Because we got churches that are full of people that ain't witnessing to nobody. And when the church was founded, I'm talking about when the apostles founded the church, they founded the church on preaching the gospel to those that were lost.
Amen.
They didn't just come for a fellowship. They didn't come just for a praise and worship service. Amen. They got together and they got intentional on how they was going to be a witness to lost souls. Amen.
Amen.
And so we must get together and plan out how we're going to go out into these streets. I thank God for our elders going into the nursing homes on this week. Going to visit those who are sick and that couldn't come to the house of God. Amen. That's the true meaning of no souls left behind. Now they doing their part, or we going to do our part. Is the church going to wake up and say, I'm going after those that don't know Jesus Christ? What if they cuss you out? So what? Keep on loving them. What if they smell like smoke? So what? Keep on loving them. What if they drunk when you get to the house? So what? Keep on loving them. Amen. Because I'm pretty sure some of you were drunk sometime. There was times I was drunk, and I pray, Lord, if you let me get past this hangover, I ain't going to drink no more. And I was lying to God, but he loved me anyway, and he didn't give up on me because he seen my future. He knew one day I was going to be preaching the gospel. I know it didn't look like it right then because I was a drunkard. It didn't look like it right then because I was high on weed. But God saw my future. He looked into my tomorrow, and he didn't give up on me because he knew there was going to come a time he was going to need me to preach the gospel. So he kept on pursuing me. You don't know what God got for that drunkard. You don't know what God got in store for that little kid that's high. You don't know what God got in store for your brother that refused to come to church. So you got to pursue them like God got greater for them. Like God got something in store for them. Like God got to use them to shake up the earth. Because you don't know who God going to use to shake up the earth. So you got to play your part. Go after them with passion. Because God got a bigger picture. You don't know who he's going to use. He may use that person to get your child saved. If you refuse to witness to them, you holding up your own blessing. You don't know what God's going to use you to do. You got to be willing to go. Second thing is you have to be willing to carry some people back.
Amen.
Amen. Watch this. Verse 5 says, and when he had found the sheep.
Come on, preach.
Yeah, he found the sheep. He laid it on his shoulders, rejoicing. Because there was some situations to where the sheep, they would run off from the packing. They might fall into a ditch or might get into some bushes where they couldn't get out. Sometimes they would get hurt. And that's why the shepherd had the shepherd post, but had a hook on the end. Because when the sheep got away, they would have to sometimes hook them so they could bring them
back
out of the ditch. The shepherd was intentional in making that pole like that because he knew the sheep was going to get in situations that they couldn't get out of. Stay with me because I'm going somewhere. So he was intentional when he made that stick so he could use it to bring some people out. And he says when he found it, he put it on his shoulder. Obviously, for him to put it on the shoulder, the sheep couldn't walk by itself. There are some people that get into situations in life to where they can't get back by themselves. You got to go the extra mile and carry them back to the house of God. Sometimes there's people that done got so far out that if you don't help them, they'll never make it back. Are you willing to carry some people back? Are you willing to go the extra mile? Are you willing to sacrifice if you have to sacrifice? You see, sometimes in the church, this is what bothers me about the church. We'll do it if it ain't an inconvenience to us. As long as I ain't got to go out of my way, I'll stop by, pick you up, and bring you to church. But if I got to go out of my way, I ain't going to be able to do that. You're going to make me late for Sunday school. You're going to make me late for praise and worship. So I can't do that.
You preaching that.
Lord have mercy.
You know, even some was wondering why. you know, when the people kind of bailed out on me yesterday. I had some people, some car rides that were going to go to the game with me. You know, and so at the last minute, they were like, we ain't going to be able to make it. And so I thought about that thing, you know. I've been talking to these kids, you know. Some of them, I was at a revival where they got saved. Some of the players on this team, and I've been talking to their parents, and I said, I know, I got to drive away to Raleigh by myself. Done work last night. You know, got to drive to Raleigh by myself. After the game, I'm going to have to drive back. It was easy for me to say, you know what? They got enough people support them. There's 1,000 people from gas right there, and I'm going to go ahead and lay down and not take that trip. But I knew someone was going to be looking to see if I came. Amen. Not that they just intended looking for me, but because of the support. I've been, you know, since they've been growing up, I've been telling them, you got to do this better. You need to work on this. And, you know, man, I'm glad you gave your life to the Lord. And I've been there dealing with them a little bit. And so, you know, when they done made it to the state championship, this was important to them. And so we got to get to a place to where if something is important to somebody else, it needs to be important to us. And so although I was tired, I decided I'm going to go the extra mile, and I'm going to go ahead and drive to Raleigh to support them in their diva and what they was trying to accomplish. Amen. Sometimes we got to go the extra mile. That's right. Even if it's inconvenient. Amen. Amen. That's right. Because you know, if it ain't convenient for us, I ain't doing that. I don't got time for that. Amen. That's why we don't got a whole bunch of people volunteering to come help clean up the church. Amen. Say it, preacher. Well, they ain't talking about paying me nothing. It's inconvenient. I got other stuff going on Friday and Saturday. Thursday. It's inconvenience to people. So everybody else want to do stuff that's an inconvenience. Amen. But we got to be willing to go the extra mile. Amen. And there are some that get hurt. We got to be willing to carry back. Amen. Amen. Even if they're a little heavier than you are. Amen. 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 And the third thing, we're going to get right church and go home. Amen.